Ever since Vice President Kamala Harris became the de facto Democratic presidential nominee, conservative networks have tried to suggest Harris is way outside the mainstream. Except once you leave the right-wing bubble, it's clear that way outside their mainstream is really just sort of smack dab in the center. Here are some of the on-screen headlines that Newsmax aired during Vice President Harris's first campaign speech in Milwaukee this week. Harris facts: supports massive corporate tax hike. Shh, don't tell Newsmax that polls show most Americans, regardless of party affiliation, want corporations and the wealthy to pay their fair share. Okay, then there's Harris backed tax-funded Medicare for all, which, again, for literally years now, polls have shown a majority of Americans actually support. And then there's Harris wanted to cap rent and utility payments. Okay, here's the thing. We are in the middle of a housing affordability crisis. Rent has jumped an average of 30% since the pandemic. A rent and utility cap is broadly popular. This shocking radical left agenda is actually mainstream economic populism. And then there's Donald Trump, who has literally gone behind closed doors and told wealthy donors, you're rich as hell, and we're going to give you tax cuts. Joining me now is Washington Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, who, of course, serves as the chairwoman of the Progressive Caucus. Congresswoman Jayapal, I found myself chuckling, somewhat in disbelief, that this was a sort of an attack on Vice President Harris, policies that are broadly popular. Do you think that the right wing understands how much they've uncalibrated what centrist economic policy is?
No, I really don't. And I hope they keep showing those screens, because that will win us the election. I mean, the reality is that we have a real contrast here. We have Donald Trump, who is literally bowing down and kissing the feet of these fossil fuel billionaires and selling the destruction of our planet off for some money for his campaign. We have Donald Trump, who wants to rip away our freedoms and wants to have total control over our bodies. We have Donald Trump, who actually believes that his Trump Project 2025, where we get rid of all checks and balances, where we have a complete takeover of the government with his political appointees in every single place. That is the Donald Trump that I believe that Americans will find too extreme, because you know what? He is too extreme. And then we've got Kamala Harris, who is now going to be able to really take the case and the contrast directly to the people. She has been an incredible advocate on abortion and reproductive freedom, a very important issue. And on this populist working class economic agenda, that is the Biden-Harris administration agenda, and that is the Biden-Harris 100-day agenda, which is now the Harris presidential campaign agenda. And so you can see it in the enthusiasm across the country that has just exploded in the last several days.
I want to focus on the economic piece of this a little bit, because there hasn't been that much talk about it in recent days, and we know that it bedeviled the Biden campaign to some degree, feelings around inflation and his stewardship of the American economy. I do wonder, if you think Vice President Harris is positioned considerably better to articulate the case for her agenda, which is obviously the Harris-Biden agenda. And specifically, I wonder if you think she can do it better with the Asian American community. We haven't talked that much this week about the Asian vote, but it is critical in several swing states. And as, a representative of the AAPI community, I wonder if you think she'll do better. I think Biden was losing 8 points among Asian American voters from his numbers in 2020. Obviously, this is not a monolithic group of people, but I wonder if you have thoughts about it.
No, absolutely. First of all, I'm thrilled that we are going to, I believe, have our first Black and AAPI woman president of the United States. And I think the reason that's going to happen is, as I've said on your show, Alex, I've always believed that it is our base of AANHPI voters, of Black voters, of Latino voters, of women voters, of young people, of working class and poor people who aren't always feeling like they're engaged in a campaign. that if we can get those folks to come out, that is actually how we won in 2020. It wasn't just the suburban swing voters who are important, but it was also that we had this incredible turnout of the base, this fragile coalition that came together so that we could win. And I do think, having been on an AA and HPI call yesterday, Women for Kamala, then a South Asian American women's call yesterday, there's several more happening tomorrow. I'm going to Georgia, where I will be with young voters, with AAPI voters, with Black voters, women voters, that there is this incredible sense of seeing ourselves in the agenda. It is true that women of color, for example, and AA and HBI women as part of that are disproportionately burdened by the unfairness of our economy. And so whether you're thinking about domestic workers, childcare workers, moms, across the board, you see that is where there's a lot of pain and suffering for the economy, a lot of injustice. And Kamala Harris is uniquely positioned to talk about that. She is actually the lead sponsor of my Domestic Workers Bill of Rights in the Senate when she was in the Senate. And so she understands what this means. And I think she can call people in a very different way that is authentic to her identity, to her skills, to her experience, and to her legislative acumen, which she has just continued to sort of develop over the course of her term as vice president.